So we're going to be talking about how they impact not only their fields, but they're going to talk about how they impact business in general. And we're going to be directing the questions in that way. So what I'd like to do now is I'm going to introduce our panelists to you. And panelists, if you would, you can tell us who you are and what your affiliation is. Right, Steve Maggi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Steve Maggi. I'm the founder of SMA Immigration Law Firm, and our primary focus is working with foreign entrepreneurs and business owners that are launching U.S. operations, including a lot of tech-based companies.
Steve, I want to move on to you. Let's change
Sure.
gears a bit, okay? And talk about brain power. Okay, it's projected that the U.S. will certainly have to recruit tech and AI experts from other countries in order to stay competitive. And there's been a lot of talk about this recently. Considering the present restrictive policies of our government regarding immigration, how is this going to play out?
Well, it's playing itself out every day, and what you have to do is if you have a lot of clients that are in the tech world like me, or that are trying to bring their new ideas, investments, products, et cetera, to the US, you have to think outside the box. So the traditional model was US company hires person with a professional degree, like a traditional engineering degree, and sponsors them for an H-1B visa. That's the famous visa for professionals. The problem is that all those get gobbled up by the big companies, where Sean lives in Silicon Valley, where they're sponsoring 1,000 people at a time. And because it's so easy to enter this lottery, you have 7 times as many people trying to get in the lottery as can actually process the visas. So we have a need for 700,000 people who qualify for these important engineering-based or tech-based positions, but only 85,000 visas per year. So what we have to do as immigration attorneys is think outside the box. So what I do a lot of is what are called extraordinary ability visas, because there are kids out there in the world that I call them kids, 20, 21, 22. They've already started and sold a company. They've already mastered the coding for Web3 technology or AI related technology. And they've already made an impact on the world, even though they never went to college. In fact, some of them get like a Thiel Fellowship or something like that, where they're encouraged to not go to college. I have a client who's going to Richard Branson's island next month. He's 23 years old and he's already accomplished all these things. So there's no caps on those visas. All we have to show is that they've excelled and they're well recognized in their field. And then the companies can bring them in. We can also use them as co-founders. They're also eligible. So a lot of them don't provide any of their own funding. And then we also have the investment-based visas, which I use, where you can get all your funding from VCs in Silicon Valley, where Sean is, and in that world, not put up any of the capital, but you're bringing in the intellectual equity, you're bringing in the sweat equity, you're not bringing in the money, but you're bringing in the ideas. And that allows you to access these visas that don't have caps. And so I have unlimited potential in terms of being able to help, because if you look at even like the Fortune 500 companies on a larger scale, more than half of them are foreign born. The CEOs are foreign born, or they're first or second, generation immigrants. And so this is the driving force, or one of the main driving forces of innovation, AI, technology, and America's ability to compete on a global level is foreign nationals. And luckily, I have found the ways to get them here, even through their own companies, without their own investment. And that's the key here, is to not think traditionally, but to find new solutions that adapt to the world that we're seeing.
So you're sidestepping the problems, is what it sounds like. The walls that are up, you found ways to go around the walls. Is that right?
Yeah, they're not problems for what we do, because what I realized when I started this 20 years ago was that there were such limitations. And if you think in a traditional way, all you're going to do is fill in those positions where you can, but you're missing all the potential that's coming. And so Larry was talking about seeing the future. And that's what I see, because I go 3 or 4 times a year overseas to tech or startup events. I work with incubators and accelerators in Europe, South America, and you're seeing the ideas that aren't even in the US yet in their incubation phase before they get the funding that Sean helps us, the companies to get.
Mhm.
But you already see what's coming 2 or 3 years in the future. So this AI stuff was stuff that I saw 3 or 4 years ago in these pitches, and now they're taking form. And I'm bringing in these young geniuses that will be our future leaders in terms of tech and in business by getting them those visas now, which is really exciting to be a part of that.
Absolutely. I can see where it would be. Okay. Steve, final thoughts.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of those things, but it all comes back to one client. His name is Sigil Wen, who's 20 years old, who I got an O1 extraordinary ability visa to be part of this thing called Air Chat. And he did a video on YouTube talking about the process. And to make me feel relevant, like you said, Bruce, the best part of his video, which was 20 minutes, and it's gone viral now, he said, Steve Maggi's my boy. So I thought, wow, I really have embraced this, and I don't completely comprehend it because it's just so advanced. But if you do not embrace it, then you're missing out on a lot. And I think that's what we all need to do here.